Today, we're going to discuss Pota, Parks on the Air. Hello, YouTube. Today, I want to discuss a ham radio program called Parks on the Air, otherwise sometimes referred to as Pota, P-O-T-A. And it's an offshoot of something that happened in 2016, and ARRL, Amateur Radio Relay League, which is like the governing body for radio in the United States. They had a program called National Parks on the Air. It was a year-long program, and it featured activating or transmitting and getting a certain amount of contacts from within national parks in the United States. It was such a big hit that a group of individuals decided to continue it after that program ended. It was a year-long program, and they created Parks on the Air, which is national parks, state parks, county parks. There's a whole slew of them. And they've continued the program, well, from 2017 on to today. Recently, I did a video from Skidaway Island State Park, and I actually did a Pota activation from there, and that's in the video. So I thought it was a good time to sit down and take a few minutes and explain really what Pota is. Basically, Pota is a transmitting and receiving program where individuals or groups of people go out to a park that is registered in the program, and they set up a portable ham radio station, which can be anything from very minor to very elaborate. Whatever you want to carry out there to the park, including an antenna, and they set up and they actually transmit. And they try to make contacts. To count as an activation, you've got to get a minimum of 10 contacts. Recently, when I went out to Skidaway, I got 14. So as long as you get 10, it counts as an activation. And those are what are called the activators. The other half of the program is what they refer to as the hunters. And the hunters are somebody that has a radio. It can be at their home, can be a mobile setup, they can be anywhere they want. And they basically try to find these particular stations that are transmitting from a park and make the contact. So they're the ones that make the contact with the park. They're called hunters. Now the program itself does encourage registration. It's free. You sign up on their website. To be a hunter, you don't really need to, but you don't get credit for the parks that you basically contacted because you have no account in the database. To be an activator, technically, yes, you have to register, or you will not get an official activation. So there's no reason not to register, and there's a lot of features. I'll describe some of those later with their website. So basically, somebody goes out and sets up, and people look for them. And it's a lot of fun. It's simple. It's easy. It's not like a contest with a lot of pressure. You have an entire day, which is called a Zulu day, but basically that has to do with the Zulu clock as opposed to our 24-hour clock. But basically, it's one day, get the 10 contacts. You can go out in the morning. You can go back in the afternoon and get another 3, and to get your 10, doesn't matter how you do it as long as it's within that one day. Now, I got involved back in 2016 with the CARS Club, Coastal Amateur Radio Society, and there was a small group there that led by Bill DeLoach, and they went out quite frequently and activated parks. Bill would do a lot on his own. He was very active in the National Parks on the Air program, and a lot of times he would invite a small group of people to join him and participate in the activation. And I went to several of those and had a good time. I enjoyed it. And I made a few random contacts as a hunter, but I wasn't really registered as such from my house here over the next couple years. Recently, I had a large Go box, which I discussed and did a video on, and I decided I wanted to make something smaller that I could take in the van, and I camp in the van. So this is kind of the tie-in. I often go to a state park in the van. Most of the state parks, everyone that I've been to, is part of the Pota program. So if I take the Go box and a portable antenna, and I'm out to the campground for a few days, I can set up out right there in the campground, right at my campsite, and I can try to do an activation. So that's kind of how I got back into the Pota program. And I went ahead and registered, and I did my first activation, as I say, from Skidaway. I'm in the process now of making another little go box, and hopefully I'm going to do another activation in about a week. I want to go up to the refuge where I do a lot of photography, and that's also a park listed in the Pota program. So I'm going to go to Savannah National Wildlife Refuge and try to do an activation from there. So how do you find out about this? Well, you go to the website, which is parksontheair.com, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. But you go to that website, you get yourself registered, and there's a lot of features within the website that help you get out there and get the job done. They have a multi-page website. They have a stats page where you can log in and you can see all the current stats of the thousands and thousands of activations and contacts made. You can log into that, into your own dashboard, and you can see your stats. How many sites, how many parks you've hunted and got credit for, how many activations, how many contacts at each activation. And to do that, they've also got a spotting page. So this is what really helps you. You go to the spotting page when you're a hunter, and you look at that, and it'll show you the park, the call sign of the activator, and the frequency that they're actually operating on. As an activator myself, I can self-spot. I can put the spot up there and say, this is where I'm at, and here's my frequency. So people can go find that, and they do. It's a very good following on Parks in the Air. They will go look every day at that, and people will, and they'll find those, what they call spots, and then they'll dial their radio in and try to make a contact. There's also a map page. The map page will show you parks in your area or parks in any other area you're interested in. And if you basically click on any of the little symbols, it will bring up the park's name and its identifier, which is a K number, like Skidaway Island was K2198. They have the awards page where you can literally see all the awards that you've got. And they also have a Facebook group. So you can go to the Facebook group and you can actually interact just like you would in any other Facebook group with other people interested or participating in Parks on the Air. It's a fun activity. Get you outdoors, you know, and it has a practical purpose too for emergencies where you may have to set up portable out in the field somewhere during an emergency, which a lot of times ham radio operators get involved in. It's good practice for that. It's good practice for something that's referred to as contesting, when you enter a contest. And this is like a contest, but not really, because it doesn't have the same pressure. You're basically not competing to win anything. You get awards based on as you progress along and get more contacts or more activations. But you're really doing it for yourself, and you're doing it for the fun. And that's what makes it, I think, good, is it's for the fun. It's not a pressure type situation. Typically in a contest, you've got 24 or 48 hours, and you got to get X hundred contacts, within that period to place well in the contest, and it can be stressful and a lot of work. This is relaxing. You can do it at your leisure. You can go out and you can just go out and try to get your 10. You can spend all day out there. You can go from park to park. If you got two parks close to each other, you can go in the morning, activate one park, and take a lunch break, go to another, and activate there in the afternoon. So it's whatever you want to make of it. That's what makes it fun. Your involvement is whatever you want to put in, and what you get out of it is basically relative to what you desire and what you do put in. Ham radio's got a lot of facets, and this ties into my van because I spend time at state parks, as I mentioned earlier. So it's a good activity when I go out to a state park for a few days, and I'm going to be camped there, and Maggie and I can go take a walk, and we can sit out and read, and we can also set up an antenna and participate in Parks on the Air. So hopefully you found it a little bit interesting, a little bit informative. And if you're in ham radio, just go ahead and check out their webpage. Consider getting into it. And if you don't feel like getting into it, check it out anyway and just look and see what's going on. It's something you could also do at home, even if you don't get involved actively, is you you get a spotting page where you can see where there are stations set up that you can try to make contacts with around the United States. I enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you like it, click like. If you have any interest in any of the other videos I've done, go ahead and subscribe and hit the little notification bell. You'll get notified every time I release a new video, which is typically every Wednesday a new video comes out. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of this, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.